Tyson, what's going on, buddy?
What up? What up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Let's do an official start. Welcome to Puckin' Around. My name is Jordan. You might know me as Shot Props. Joining me, as always, Tyson, aka Spittin' Picklets.
Yeah.
No firefighter bets today. It's just the two of us. But we've got two good games to talk about. Before we jump into that, just want to let folks know we are presented by the Diamond Vault Discord, free and paid Discord, cappers of multiple sports, transparent, good community, all the good stuff. So check that out in the description below. There is a 1 week free trial if you're interested in checking out the paid side. You can also join for free and check it out that way. Spittin', you were away this weekend. How did it go?
It's pretty good. Still recovering, but hockey was great. Still got to watch it there. Had a little bit of service. First ever fishing trip.
Whoa.
You wouldn't believe it. I caught 8 fish.
No way.
Oh yeah, we were doing a little fly fishing. It's a good time.
Very nice.
Oh yeah,
That's an exciting weekend, no doubt. But it's good to have you back.
for sure. Back and ready to go. Canuckies play tonight.
They do. They do. They're going to be our second game that we're going to get to. Before we get to game number one, we'll just highlight one news story on my end, and then if you have anything you want to highlight, feel free. Val Nichushkin suspended 6 months, reportedly after a failed drug test. He will be away from the Avalanche for the duration of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Any thoughts on the story, Spittin'?
Well, I just feel bad for him. You know, he's obviously going through some stuff, and kind of sucks because, like, you're right in the heart of the playoffs. Like, this was the huge news story, right in such a pivotal game. You know, and now you lose. They kind of played pathetically.
Looked bad.
They looked really bad. You know, that news obviously hit him hard, and that's a teammate. You know, that's one of their guys. They obviously want the best for him, but you know, Jack Johnson came out in the media and was like, "Oh yeah, he made his decisions or whatever." So, you know, now there's a little ruffling the feathers in the locker room, and that's obviously going to bring a team down. So, I don't know. I think it might be over for Colorado for the second year in a row in the playoffs because of the Chushkin.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
What do you think? What's his future in Colorado?
We'll have to see what comes out of this. And I think what they're going to want to see is, like, assuming based on the stories, we think that he's obviously into some stuff and he needs some help. I think really it's going to come down to, is he willing to accept the help or not? I would hope that they do what they can to support him and keep him in Colorado, but we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, it's 2 big losses, and obviously he's got to take care of himself first, but the timing could not be worse in either year. And like you said, it's not just losing a hockey player, it's causing, you know, some potential issues in the dressing room. Everybody in there is working extremely hard. Playoff hockey, I can't imagine, is easy at all. And they're going through it every night. And, you know, to have one of your key guys, maybe you feel like he didn't have your back. Yeah, like you said, it's going to affect morale. And they're also without Devon Toews as of right now, who I know you like to say plus minus wise, him and Makar not too great, but
he's still great.
Getting the puck out of the zone and you know, contributing offensively is a big loss. So Dallas looked very good yesterday, and Ottinger seems in the zone. That's the most dangerous thing for this team. They're so deep. If their goalie is also on point, they're a scary team. So I agree. I do think it's beginning of the end for Colorado. It's 2 big losses. You're already down a key roster player, Logan O'Connor, who I know goes under the radar, but he's a big guy in the playoffs. I'm telling you.
No,
and obviously no Landy, who, you know, midway through the season we were hearing rumblings that he might be back for playoffs. So yeah, not good news for Colorado. But we'll see what happens. We've got hockey tonight we want to get to. Let's get your favorite team out of the way first. We'll start with Boston and Florida. And then we'll get to your favorite game.
Yeah.
So the series, Boston, Florida. Florida's leading 3-1. We are returning to, I believe we're going back to Florida, right, at this point?
Yeah. Back to Florida.
Game number 5. They're up 3-1. They close out the series. No Brad Marchand tonight, still out of the lineup after dealing with everybody's favorite player, Sam Bennett, who gets a lot of media attention. Any thoughts on the hit, or do you just want to talk, jump right into the bets?
Well, I mean, kind of dirty, but what can you do? It's the playoffs, you know. I mean, if it doesn't knock him out and he's not injured, do we even care about it?
Yeah,
Probably
like
not.
the hit alone, I mean, I wouldn't have looked twice if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly,
honest.
right? So you kind of have to take out, you know, what happened after out of the equation, you know, like that. Sure, it might have been a penalty. You can't really punch someone in the face, but like 2 minutes, that's it. So,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't. It's playoffs. That's the kind of player Sam Bennett is, and I mean, look who he did it to, Brad
yeah.
Marchand. It's not like he's the
He's
greatest
not a
player
saint.
either. So
Yeah, yeah,
watch
yeah.
out for your face, or he'll lick it. You
It's
know,
not like he
like
did it to Mother Teresa. Uh,
yeah, exactly.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think
Then,
it's fine. I mean, it's the playoffs. I got a couple picks in here. It's funny you
okay.
mentioned Sam Bennett. I saw Walla kind of mention um oh Sam Bennett earlier for shots on goal. And I was surprised. His line's at 1.5 right now, and I don't understand why.
The volume's there.
Yeah, his volume's there. Like his last few games, what is this? 6 out of his last 8, he's got 3 plus. Like he's never landed on 2. Um, it just seemed weird. And his shot attempts are through the roof. Over the last 10 games, he's averaging 5.4 shot attempts, but those are 2 games where he had two or fewer, right? Um, so I don't know. I thought that was pretty good value. He's back on home ice, where he shoots a little bit better. He's cleared 6 out of the last 7 at home. So yeah, I don't know. I like the shots, but I also want my most confident play in this game is the Panthers puck line.
Right?
Uh, with Brad Marchand done, an elimination game, you always have to take the puck line because Boston's going to pull their goalie no matter what. Like if they're down 1 goal, they'll pull them early, and if they score, then boom,
There you
they'll just
go.
continue to pull because what do they have to lose? They don't have another game. Like if they could, you know, potentially get it back, then they will. But that'll mean like 5 minutes with the net open, and Florida should hopefully capitalize on that. I did that for almost every single game in the first round. I did it with Florida. I did it with the Hurricanes. Did it with Edmonton, and they all cashed. So
Smart.
playing the puck line in an elimination game is the smartest way to go.
I like it. Yeah, like you said, they're all in. You know,
Mhm.
pull the goalie when you need to.
Plus 130 odds too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And for your Bennett play, according to your chart, the adjusted playoffs shots on goal by position, Boston allowing the second most shots to centers. So there you go. Bodes well for
Yeah.
Sam Bennett, who
How did I forget to plug that, dude?
has
Come
been
on.
shooting. Yeah, if you're not following this, it's available on shotprops.com. You can check it out from the menu. It's the adjusted playoff shots on goal by position, or by following at Spit and Picklets, calculating this by hand, the most accurate you can possibly get. So check that out. Oh, and one other thing I didn't mention at the top of the show, if you have a question, a comment, anything, and you're watching on YouTube and or Twitch, put it in the comments, and we would be happy to address it. If you're watching on Twitter/X, we cannot get comments from you, but we are happy to have you join us. Okay. Anything else in this game before we move on, or you want to get to the good one?
Yeah, let's get to the good one. I mean, I just feel bad for. I mean, no, I don't. Never mind. I'm taking that back. There's just nothing to really bet on the Boston side. Like Florida limits shots so well. Like I don't want to take anyone to get a point. The only one I would take is Passa. He's minus 250. Like I don't even Passa hasn't even been that good this playoff. So I don't know. There's not much to say about Boston except that I'm excited to not watch them again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were like frauds coming into the playoffs, to be honest, relative to the other playoff teams. We'll say
For
that.
sure.
Especially being so weak down the center. All due respect to their current centers, but you know, you lost a legit number 1 and number 2 guy last season. You didn't really replace them, and they just beat the Leafs. Almost let him come back down 3-0, and then
I was gonna say, do you think
Florida? And then, but this is who I was expecting.
Do you think Toronto would put up a better fight
against Florida?
Yeah,
I don't know. People were so worried about. I live in the Toronto-ish area. People were so worried. Oh, Boston always has our number. Blah blah blah. I was like, this is not the same Boston team. They still ended up winning, so I didn't look that smart. But Florida, I think, is a worse matchup. Like Florida bullies the Leafs, and I don't think they have an answer for it. Like physically, And
But it would be more fun to watch.
100% it would be more fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Boston's just so boring. They play that, defensive game. I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out Charlie McAvoy taking a beating this playoffs. You seen him?
No, I haven't. I was away. I haven't been watching much.
Black eyes and guys taking it.
Mm-hmm.
But on to the game that you really want to talk about, and that is probably more fun for the average bettor. The Vancouver Canucks taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Vancouver leads the series 2-1. They stole one in Edmonton. Sheila's fantastic performance.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little bit of help from the pipes, as you saw me mention in one of our chat, but they held on.
That's okay. Why don't they shoot better?
Hey, I'm not arguing. It's good defensive performance. They, like I said, they held on. Edmonton brought a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't. They only got 2, right?
If you watched, they got 3. But if you watched the game, you have to. So I just did the tape series on Canucks Army. Go check it out in my Twitter. But I actually watched every shift from McDry, and they, yes, okay. The score sheet can say 45, 16, or 18 of the shots or whatever. You look at it and you're like, oh my God, they clearly dominated Vancouver. That's not the case. They took all of their shots from the perimeter. We did not allow them in the center of the ice at all. Through the neutral zone, you could watch it. I clip up clips and everything. JT Miller turns at the blue line right when McDavid's getting speed and matches his speed as he goes through the neutral zone, blocks off his angle, so he has to enter through the corner of the blue line, and then he just has to dump it in because then there's 2 defenders right there. He's steering McDavid where he wants him to go, and then he just has to dump the puck in. So that's when McDavid's so strong, is when he carries the play through the offensive zone and dangles everybody. You could not do that against Vancouver last game. And when you do set it up in the offensive zone, they play man-on-man coverage. That's not something you ever see really in hockey. You see that in football and stuff, but they have their check and you're on them. It's like 3-on-3, but this was 5-on-5. So you're very susceptible of getting beaten. And if you get beaten, it's McDavid one-on-one with a goalie, but we held our ground and it was really, honestly, really impressive. And they didn't get a 5-on-5 point. First time this playoffs. It's crazy.
Yeah, JT Miller's looked very good defensively.
Yeah. Now they're splitting them up though. They're splitting up.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah. So I put out a tweet. Did you see it where they
you want me to put it on the screen?
It was a while back, but the time on ice for the Oilers in Game 3.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes for the 2 top guys.
31 for Bouchard, just 29:40 for McDavid, 29:04 for Draisaitl,
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
For Hyman. It's you can't win playing like that. And so Knobloch came out and he was like, "Oh yeah, well we'll we can't play those guys 30 minutes every night." But tonight he's going 11 forward, 7D, and he's like, yeah, whenever we'll do our normal line rotations, but we'll just double shift McDavid and Draisaitl. I'm like, what are you doing?
The other lines haven't looked good. That's probably why they're splitting up. They're splitting up McDry.
Well, they have to. They're such a one-line team if they don't.
Yeah. And hey, another underrated playoff guy, Henrique, out of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Swiss Army knife. You can use him in a lot of different ways, and so that's a loss. TC Enmark, he was having an interesting game, eh?
Yeah, he's a little feisty.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing that I wanted to point out here is Matthias Ekholm, I think, is banged up. If you remember the beginning of last game, Dakota Joshua comes in, or Lindholm hits him along the boards. He falls over. He immediately gets back up and the puck's in his feet, and without even looking, Joshua just runs him over. And I think he got hurt then.
Yeah.
So that's why they're going with 7D, but they don't want to come out and be like, oh, yeah, Ekholm's hurt. But he missed morning skate today. So that's another huge kind of blow to this Oilers decor.
And he's been good.
So good.
He had 3 goals in his last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's been contributing offensively as well. One thing we haven't said, which we maybe should have started with for this game, bit of a shakeup in net.
Say it. Stuart
Skinner out. Calvin Pickard in. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't really know how to go about this because Calvin Pickard He's always been a career backup. He only ever started the 2016-17 season for the Colorado Avalanche, and if you remember, that was the worst season in like the Stanley Cup era, like points wise. They got 48 points or something like that. It was just completely terrible. But hey, you lost the draft lottery, got 4th overall, got Cale Makar, so it wasn't all bad. But Stuart Skinner, like the thing about the Canucks, we don't take a lot of shots, right? And that's how we play. That's our system. But we always get high danger shots. So if we average below 20 shots per game in the playoffs, like the goalie's cold on the other side. He's not getting a lot of shots. He's not flowing into the game. Yep. So that kind of got in Skinner's head, and you could see him overcommit to a lot of Canucks shots because it's like, okay, I got to get in front of this one. I haven't not in the game or whatever, and then he overcommits, and then we score. So that's why it kind of looks so bad. But the Stuart Skinner, you could see in his body language, like after all these goals, that he was like visibly upset, visibly not confident, and like getting pissed off a little bit. And that just flows throughout the rest of the team. So Knoblauch, like he said, that's kind of why, like the visible scene of Skinner after all these goals, we're like, okay, like he's clearly in his head. That can't happen. That's going to
lose your composure
down to the rest of the team. We got to go with Pickard.
Yeah, you lose your composure in the playoffs as a goalie, right?
No.
Even when interviewed after the game, he basically suggested he should not start the next game.
Yeah. And I mean, who knows? Like if we've got a third string goalie in right now, like Calvin Pickard could be that.
I don't know if their D are going to help out as much as your D are doing for Shelovs.
Yeah, but now we don't have Carson Soucy.
There you go. That's one other storyline that we'll address before we get into more on the betting side. So Carson Soucy and Zadorov, was it both of them, got involved with McDavid after the whistle in the last game. Mm-hmm. Soucy ended up cross-checking a falling McDavid in the face. And we will also say McDavid clear slash on Soucy that led to this. Mm-hmm. Either way, Soucy out for a game. Seems like the league's just targeting post-whistle kind of conduct. So yeah, how do you think the loss impacts the Canucks tonight?
Well, so we've been so good kind of all playoffs of rolling all 3 defensive lines, and that's really kept our guys like Quinn Hughes and Hronek at the top fresh. Zadorov has been fresh. He's been playing like 21 minutes per game. Just absolute beast out there. But
he's a hothead.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I feel like he'd be like just a smidge better if he could rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, he's a quote machine in the media too. If you saw what he said today, it was crazy.
I didn't see what he said today. What did he have?
You didn't? He was like, they were like, talking about the Soucy injury or whatever, and he was like, oh, well, they got to protect their biggest investment or something like that.
The league?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's funny.
Anyway, now I don't think we'll have that luxury because Ian Cole's been the Oilers' best player so far this series. I think he has 3 goals that went in off him.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I don't know if you know what team he's on.
Yeah, literally. He's a secret agent playing for the other team.
Yeah.
But now Juleson will come in the lineup. Ian Cole will probably match up with him on the bottom pairing. So that is why I don't think we'll have that luxury again of being able to roll all 3 lines. We'll have to do kind of stack Hughes and Hronek, make sure that they're always against McDavid and Hyman, and then Zadorov, Myers. That's probably the biggest defense pairing.
13 feet.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
yeah, more than that.
I think you have to rely on those guys a lot more, like a lot more ice time for them.
Exciting series. Nice we don't normally get to dive into the weeds on these games. There's not too many. Mm-hmm. But it was fun to talk some of that stuff. Anything else hockey-wise you want to cover before we chat some bets?
I don't think so. If I think of anything,
we'll roll back into it. I'll allow it. Okay. Betting-wise, anything you want to highlight? Minus 210 money line. I'm assuming you're not taking that one.
Hell no. I'm going to be at the viewing party tonight in Vancouver. Okay. So I'll probably bet Canucks money line because I'm just a little bit of homer, going to be at the game. plus 170 odds, pretty good, but I'm not going to recommend you go take that. If you do want like a nice parlay piece, though, Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 150. It's not bad, so you could play that straight. That's hitting 6 straight games against the Oilers.
Yep.
Every game this season. I wrote about it in my little betting preview today, but that's pretty good value. And I think the Canucks have only lost to the puck line one time this entire playoff run. So
they've been in tight games.
Minus 150 odds is pretty good, especially when you consider they got a backup goalie. And I mean, can you really even call Seelaw's a backup goalie right now?
Doesn't look like it.
Not playing like it.
No.
Like, yeah, he's our third string, but like I wouldn't say we have a disadvantage in goal.
Yeah.
He's been playing better than Skinner, and they don't even want Skinner right now. So I'd say we have the goaltending matchup, so I'll take the plus 1.5 there. In terms of player props, I mean, I love Brock Besser's been our best player, arguably, outside of Shelov's, but I think his points at, hey, why don't go Canucks plus 1.5 plus a Besser point? He'll probably get some good money on that because he's minus 160 to get a point. Nikita Zadorov over 1.5 shots. I've never seen that on a big book before. He's on bet 365 today, minus 115. He's hitting all 3 games this series. And now that he's going to get elevated in the lineup, and now that I'm predicting that they're going to probably stick to the top 2 defensive pairings, he'll probably play it upwards of 24 minutes, something like that. So I like his shots on goal. And then for the Edmonton side, Evan Bouchard, he's been on a tear. His last 2 games, he's cleared in all 3 games at 2.5. Might buy it up to 4.5 or 3.5 because his last 2 games have been crazy. He had 5 shots on goal on 12 attempts, 6 shots on goal on 15 attempts last game. And now with that Ekholm injury, he'll just have to step up offensively even more.
Yep.
And I got that at plus 140. So that was some pretty good value, I thought.
I like it. I had a couple I had penciled in, nothing I've played yet. So let me run them by you and we'll see what you think. Okay. You said Bouchard you were looking at over 3.5, potentially buying it up. I had penciled in Bouchard assist and 2 shots. Either way, like you said, he's going to have to be involved offensively if they want to win. So
totally, but I don't think they want to win. So
okay, let's go to some. I have some Vancouver ones listed. So I should have started with those. Got you on my side.
If you got more Oilers ones, go ahead.
Got you on my side a little bit. Miller assist minus 135. It just seems like so much is flowing through him at this point, offensively and defensively, like we've talked about.
Yeah, no, that's great. Minus 135 is pretty good
price.
Yep.
For what he's been doing. And what else do I got here? She loves saves. And I wrote that in before I saw the number, and I actually haven't seen it. It's been a busy day.
What number do you think it is? Because I know what it is.
I would guess 28.5.
Close.
Is it 27?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think of that? I kind of like that.
Yeah, I do. That is 1 shot less than what I was expecting, which I appreciate.
That's always nice to hear. I would have figured it would have been higher than that.
And the one thing I would say is, one thing that always scares me about goalie props is, will the goalie get pulled? And there's no way he's going to get pulled.
That's what I was going to say. I don't. Right? That's a fear in the regular season, but I don't really think it is in the playoffs.
Well, unless you're Edmonton.
Yeah, but you even waited 2 games?
Yeah.
2 games and 2 periods to pull Skinner.
So I do like that. And 27.5 minus 120 on DraftKings. You might be able to find a slightly better line to shop around.
Yeah, we'll also think about this game 1 when we were losing 4-1, right after the second period, and we kept Seelov's in. Even though he was having a bad game, and then he came back and won.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's good to
leave him in there.
Yeah.
And Edmonton's going to have to play much more desperately, and if we continue to keep it to the outside, they're not going to have any other option but to shoot.
Yeah, they're just going to have to rip it.
Yeah, and it's low percentage shots from out there, so I'm fine with allowing a shot.
Yep. Yeah, take you from the outside. We're not worried about it.
Yeah. Go
It's
ahead.
not like Lindholm or Besser right in front of the net. Like you
Yeah.
guys aren't letting that happen.
No, of course. Like
Um, I think 2 games ago
yeah,
I was on the power play where McDavid and Draisaitl like split your D and they'd
yeah,
let Leon walk to the front of the net. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
And like since then, I haven't seen that happen at all. Like they're
I
just
know.
not giving them space.
Not giving
They're
them
playing
in the
perfect.
middle of the ice, which is huge.
So for the goalie bet, I just like that.
I really
Absolutely.
like that too. I think I'm going to play that with you.
Okay, beauty. I had Connor 2 assists. I'm probably going to scrap that one. It was only at plus 150 ish. And now that he's not playing with Leon, or at least officially listed as playing with Leon, I'm probably going to get rid of that. And one point of emphasis for the Canucks, I have to assume, is we cannot take dumb penalties. Zadorov.
Okay.
And if they don't, I think that hurts that play a lot. And then some combination of pairing 2 of these. Leon 3 shots, Leon. So Leon 3 shots and one of these 2 points or a goal. I just think he does seem dialed in. He has great history against you guys. If the offense is going to have to flow through him or Connor, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I probably leaning 3 shots and a goal. He did ring a couple off the post. I know that's not a goal, but
Yeah.
decent look.
No, of course. That's encouraging,
He
at
was
least
looking good.
when you're betting on it, no matter
And
what side I'm on.
and I know one thing we had talked about in the Diamond Vault Discord, somebody had mentioned, what's going on with Leon's injury? Is it legit? I do think it was legit. He looked fine last game. I didn't really see a ton of signs. But the one nice thing with him, because back stuff can flare up pretty easily for some of these guys, is he doesn't rely on his athleticism to do a lot of what he does. So even if he's playing injured, he can still get it done. It's hockey IQ over athleticism for him in terms
Like
of
you'll see him kind of stay stagnant, not really moving his feet a lot, and then he'll
being in the right
still,
spot.
and he'll still be able to find the back of the net or find the right pass.
So yeah, I will probably do Leon 3 shots and a goal. Slight parlay that'll be at
I like his 3 shots.
semi plus money. Yeah, he's listed at 3.5 though, which I don't know. You assume he would get it done, but I don't know. I've been burned before in the playoffs, expecting the Stars to show up.
One thing I think I'm definitely playing JT Miller point and a Bezer point together.
Okay.
I think I got that at plus 105, and I kind of highlighted already about the Bezer point. But he's always on a line with Miller, even when they stack up the lotto line, they're together. They're on a top line power play. And,
right.
I mean, Bezer's scoring so much, always assisted by JT. So, I mean, you could even do that route, but I'm just a little too big of a wimp.
So, okay. So let me ask you this then. Would you play that over just a Miller assist at minus 135? Should I switch it?
I just like the plus money, and I feel like if they're going to get a point, they're likely going to be on it together.
I trust the Canucks whisperer. Okay, I will do that. Make that pivot. So, for me, Sheilov saves over 27.5 minus 120. If you find a better price, please let me know. Miller assist, I'm going to take off my card, and I will be playing Spittins, Miller, and Besser for a point each. And then, like I said, I'm going to do something with Leon. His track record is just so good. He's been amazing in the playoffs, very good against Vancouver. And then something with Bouchard. We'll see. Like
just to sell you a little bit on Bezer, like have you checked his points or anything?
I looked at his points, and it was his shots that worried me. But you tell me.
Oh yeah, his shots aren't good.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at this playoffs right now. He's got a point per game in the playoffs against Edmonton, 5 in the 3 games so far. He's got a point in every single road game this playoffs. What is that? 8 points in 4 road games. Yeah, he had points in 4 out of 6 against Nashville. Against Edmonton this season, he played 4 regular season games, 3 playoff games. Wait, no, he didn't play the 4th game. Never mind, I'm an idiot. He didn't play the game against Winnipeg.
Don't say that.
Right. So, yeah, 3 out of. Oh my God, I can't talk. 3 out of 4 in the regular season, 3 out of 3 in the playoffs, and this is a total of 12 points in 6 games. So he's averaging 2 points per game.
Yeah, and he's coming off 2-goal performance.
Yeah, and an assist. He's been a dog.
Yep. And Edmonton giving up the third most penalties for. So not great, but
he can snipe from the point like he did last game.
He can. Seems like he can snipe from anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wraps up the bets for this game. Was there anything else in this game, like not hockey-wise, rather, that you wanted to cover? Any thoughts on Linus Karlsson?
I didn't watch him too closely because it kind of felt like all I was doing is watching McDavid and Draisaitl, and especially go up against that Miller. But from what I heard, Karlsson was good on a stick, didn't look out of place. It was kind of crazy because Tocchet had him out there twice in the last 5 minutes, one in the last 5 minutes, and then one in the last under 2 minutes. So they must have really trusted him and liked the way that he was playing. Tocchet hinted at a line change for tonight in the forward core, like outside of obviously the Juleson for Susie. So
yeah,
we'll see whether it's him, see whether it's Amon, just to get Niels Höglander back in there. But
right.
I really don't know.
These are just projected at this point, nothing confirmed. Awesome. We are only at 32 minutes. Do you want to wrap up early, or do you have any thoughts on kind of the rest of the playoffs since we're here?
I don't know. I feel like we kind of covered everything. I gotta leave in like an hour, so I wouldn't mind wrapping up early.
Perfect. Enjoy the game tonight, Spittin'. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Before we officially end, Spittin', where can they find your content?
You can find me in the Diamond Vault Discord and Twitter for all my plays. You can find my written content at Canucks Army, Flames Nation, Daily Faceoff, Bet365, and Props.cash.
Very nice. You can follow me at ShotProps on Twitter /X and ShotProps.com for NHL data. We will be back whenever we're back. Nothing scheduled, nothing on the books, but we hope to do another one of these soon. Best of luck tonight, everybody, and we will see you soon.